Alright, so this is going to be a little bit of an exciting video. For one, I'm going to do a little walkthrough of what I got going on out here. Basically, the whole point of this video is, you know, to show you what I have growing. I got a lot of stuff growing. I'm going to show you guys a quick overview. And it's not really the space you have, it's what you do with your space. You know what I'm saying? And, I mean, these are, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 beds all together. Okay? And basically, you know, this was all grass. I also have the other side of my property. Every night, you know, I like to sit over here because I usually sun gaze. The sun actually goes down on that side. And, you know, sometimes I'll sit out here after I did something, you know, heavy work over here in the yard. And sometimes I like to sit here. And, I mean, I was visualizing myself sitting in the middle of the garden instead of, you know, over here. So basically that was my latest creation I made over there, which I'm very, very proud of. So I'm gonna take a walk out and show you what I have going on. This was the first thing I did last year, was make this walkway. And what got me started here is that I actually had some morning glories growing on this side, and I let them grow wild. And you know, one thing led to another. Now I'm growing food. So this is actually really, really exciting. All right. And what I like about this is that as you're walking in, you know what I'm saying, you get to see what I'm growing. I got this trellis up, which is basically, you know, held up by the morning glories that are climbing up that trellis. This is gonna fill up with burpees in the morning and whatnot. That right there is honeysuckle, and I got my mammoth sunflowers over there. And as you're walking in, I mean, you can see that's a red hot chili pepper plant. I'm gonna go through this quickly for the simple fact that I don't want to make this video too long. But last year what I did was I put up these pencil trees because I wanted to have pencil trees coming along the way here. Only thing is that 2 didn't make it. So I mean, it's all good. All I did was just put up this sunflower, which, you know, this is the newest, I mean the oldest one that came in. And basically I got the new heads coming in down here. All right, but what I like is that you get to see these vines are going to be basically, you know, filled up. I mean, they grow 25 to 30 feet long, but as you're walking in, you get to see these pumpkins, you know, forming on them as you're walking in. Last year, my son and I pumpkin picked in our own yard. So I put up this cage over here for this. These are the cantaloupe melons. And, you know, if you look on this side, I mean, you got tomatoes. And this is a beautiful tomato plant over here, looking beautiful and healthy. As you walk in, of course, I mean, that's a blackberry cutting. That over there are honeydew melons, which are looking fantastic. These are, everything was started from seed, by the way. So that's looking great. This is a brand new blackberry cane. This is a peach tree, which is looking phenomenal as well. You know, I basically got this like half the size of what it is now. My sister actually got me that as a gift. Here's a tomato plant, which is looking very, very nice and beautiful. I mean, as you can see, the bottom foliage is very, very, it's actually taken off all the way up to here. Basically, this whole top part, which is giving me some tomatoes right there that are about to come in. And what I have here is the rabbit eye blueberry, and over here this is a brightwell, which these are actually basically ready to go on some of them, you know what I'm saying? So I'll just eat this one now. And I mean, it's giving me a lot of blueberries, which is nice. I'm waiting for them to ripen up a little bit better, and then I'll take some of those. And then this one right here is the rabbit eye one. Now these two I have in pots, and these two I have in the ground. All right, and they're all different varieties. Now the reason I have them in the 2 in the ground, which you can see, this is giving me a ton of blueberries over here. But the reason I have this one in the ground and that one in the ground is because I got them at a nice spacing. I would say maybe about 4 feet, 4.5 feet apart. And this is the second year they've been there, but I'm able to put those really, really close to these so they can cross-pollinate. That's why I have those in pots. So that's really cool. I mean, I got a bunch of weeds here that I have to give a haircut to. That's garlic right back there. What else I got over here? Let me show you guys. Got more garlic over here. So this is all garlic. Once this plant looks like it's dying out, that's when you harvest them. So this is what it looks like from here. All this was grass, by the way. So I'm liking the way this looks now. I bought this at Lowe's. That looks aesthetically pleasing as you're walking in. And by the way, all these greens over here, this doesn't look as deep, but in here it's actually pretty deep. You know what I'm saying? And I'm glad that the foliage grew in. I actually give it a haircut as you go because I just think it looks cool like that. I mean, I can basically fill this up with rocks or whatnot, but I mean, it's deep. This is clay soil, which I was able to mount, but you can see how deep this is. Look, you know what I'm saying? And that's basically, this was a really, really deep. It took me a long back breaking, you know, week to do. But, you know, I was able to mold some mounds on it, and I put these stones on there. And as you can see right now, I walk on them, and they're nice and sturdy right now, especially since the foliage in between started growing in. So, so again, tomato plant. Got another tomato plant here as you're walking in. You can see this. Your cantaloupe melons, the sunflower. You got the pumpkins. This right here is, I got another tomato plant growing over here. This is one of the suckers. This is one of the later ones that I planted in. And this one basically, again, is one of the newer ones, and it's already growing. Over here, this is cucumbers. I actually put up a post on Instagram, and I actually pulled out a ton of cucumbers out of this. And this is the more you pull, the more you get. So all those little yellow flowers in there, all future cucumbers. All right. So I did give this a haircut. I might have to give it another one. This right here is mint. This right here, I pruned it down, and as you can see over there, that's the mulch of it. But this was all real thick and green, and I can't eat enough of this to keep it pruned. So I had to literally be aggressive and cut this down. And I knew anybody who knows about mint knows that. I mean, they come back with a vengeance. I mean, you can see the little ones already starting to come in again. So this is flathead parsley over here. I cut that like crazy, and look how big it's gotten already. And I actually have this under control if you're wondering, you know, the whole mint being invasive. But the more I cut of this, the more it grows. So I use this as toppings to my my drinks or my salads and whatnot, or my food. And this is the curly parsley back there. And that one I also, the more I cut, the more it grows. And I've got this trellis right here for the morning glories. Now, yeah, I got a lot of stuff planted all together, but everything here is done with magic. This is a majestic, I mean, beautiful tomato plant. This, I mean, I got it tied to this bamboo stick. As you can see, these I got the main. First of all, I started it as one main one, and then I let a second runner grow until it got really tall, and then now I let a third runner grow, and that's why I have them tied up over here like this. But all these little flowers, those are all tomatoes. And as you can see, they're already forming here, and I've got some more. Let me get up over here on this side. I've got some more forming down here. I mean, there's a lot of tomatoes on this, just this plant alone. So you got another line of tomatoes over here, all this line of tomatoes here, line of tomatoes here, line of tomatoes here, all these tomatoes up here, another line up here, another line up here, and another line up here. I mean, this is a really, really, really beautiful big tomato plant. So can't wait for that one to take off even more and give me and ripen up those tomatoes for me, so I can show you guys what's going on with that. That's another tomato plant. This right here is a wild blackberry. These thorns, you might want to be careful, because these thorns actually they hook onto you. They don't just, you know, pinch you. They actually like hook onto you, because the thorns are actually hooked. This right here is a Venus flytrap. Got another one of those decorative things. Just as you walk in, it just looks nice. I like the way that looks. Here's a avocado plant. I'm starting from seed, and I've got a few avocado plants that actually came in from compost, which I didn't intentionally plant there, but I'm going to be taking care of that. Since this is not going to be here and this is not going to be here next year, I'm going to make sure that grows and protect it in wintertime and whatnot. That's just a weed. Here's another pepper plant, which is looking great. This one, I'm very proud to say I started from seed as well, and this one's looking phenomenal. I've got peppers coming in already, so it's looking good. This is just a decorative plant. Here's another tomato plant right in front of it, which you can see all the tomatoes already forming on them. This is my creation over here that I did, where I'm able to just sit down and eat my meal, or basically just chill with a couple friends here, or just basically you know, just sit here by myself and just listen to the birds and everything around me, which I think is pretty cool. I think this came out nice. You guys can let me know what you think. I did this all myself. I've never done this before. I put river pebbles, and you know, I put concrete in between there, as you can see, and looks good. You know what I'm saying? Looks good. And anywhere you sit, you could basically enjoy, you know, tomatoes at, I mean, this, it rained and this grew really tall, so I gotta tie this one up. It's gonna be like this, where it's away from the chair. But you already know how tomatoes are. They vine out, so you gotta tie them up so they stay supported. But this all grew literally in like 2 days, because it's been raining for 2 days over here. But you can see all the tomatoes coming in. But if you're sitting here, I mean, you could enjoy the tomatoes right behind you. If you're sitting over here, you've got pineapples that, I mean, I started these, and I got videos where I started these from like scratch, where I literally took the top off, put it in soil. These are my 2 oldest ones. Those are my newest ones. And then if you look over here, even though for them being my newest ones, I got my pineapples growing there. So these were more experiments when I first started. So what I'm going to do is basically cut off another 5 or 6 and then just wait 2 years, you know, because with pineapples you got to be patient. You know, you get them 2 years later at most. If you're lucky, you get them 1 year later, which is what I got going on over here. Here's another tomato plant. This one I got to straighten out again. It's been raining for 2 days, so if I straighten this out, I bring this this up and then basically supports it. So I'll do that when I'm done with this video. I've got another tomato plant over here. I'm gonna have a lot of tomatoes. Last year I didn't even have this much growing, and I basically ended up giving a lot of food away, which I love doing that. You know, a lot of people ask me for seeds, and I got a lot of people into gardening. So I've got experiments going all over the yard. So this is cantaloupe. I have some in big pots, some in smaller pots like this one, and some growing in the ground. So I want to see which ones do the best. And so far this one's actually growing the slowest, but to no surprises, because they're in a smaller container. But it's all good. That's the decorative sweet potato vine, which I got this as a gift. I have the edible ones, which I'll show you in a second. Here's my cannabis plant. I gotta give that a little haircut. And I got another one over here. They're doing really, really nice. I gave this one a haircut. I got bottom foliage coming in. Anything that's yellow, I usually pull it out, as you can see. I got a couple, maybe 1 or 2 yellow leaves in there that I gotta pull out. So that's one of my cannabis plants. Oh, look at this one. This one grew so fast. I mean, I put this here with the intention of tying this up, but it grew so fast, and now it's literally like tilted over. So I gotta tie this up over here and cage it up, and you know, give it some support. All right, but it's doing good. The key is that they're all green, they're all healthy. All my plants are healthy, and that's all that matters. Got more morning glories that I'm going to be trellising up over here. Here's that sweet pepper, I mean not sweet pepper, that hot pepper, chili pepper plant that I was telling you about. It's looking really, really abundant. A lot of bushy growth on that, so that's going to give me a lot of peppers. This I bought for $2 at Lowe's, and I bought one with my brother-in-law. He bought another one, and this looked jacked up. I mean, beat up like you wouldn't even believe. I basically cut all the dead roots, all the rotten roots. I gave it a nice pruning, took out all the dead canes, and I mean, it's come back beautifully. I mean, so this was so beat up. This, I had to tie this down, as you can see, because this was literally split in half. So I tied that down, and I mean, this plant took off. This I got as a gift from my mom. That's flowers, and it's got buds coming in already. Very nice to see. This is African okra. This is a beautiful plant. Gives you so much production, and it's so beautiful, this plant. I'm going to show you guys when this actually starts producing. That is a really nice plant right there. This is another tomato. This is a Texas Star. So basically here in the entrance, my key and goal was to basically have you know, these mammoth sunflowers towering basically over here when you're looking at the main, you know, entrance of what I got going on. Because when you look on the other side also, this is my Jeep, by the way. When you look on this side, I've got another mammoth sunflower right there, and here's the sweet potato vines. that I started from actual sweet potato, put them in water, and I got a bunch of slips, and these are basically one of them. I have 2 pots of sweet potato slips like that one. Here's the mammoth sunflower. Here's pumpkins that I decided to grow in a vine, in a container rather. This right here is Mars grapes, along with some pumpkins that I've got growing on the bottom. This I bought really small, and it's actually, I put these trellises up, but as you can see, they're actually growing really long, which I'm not going to worry about it too much right now because I doubt I'm going to get any grapes this year. But you know, I'll give it a nice pruning in the fall. This right here is actually wormwood or mugwort. This plant was really jacked up, and look how beautiful it looks right now. This right here is pumpkins, along with a citrus tree that I started from seed. That doesn't look the healthiest. I've got a bunch of them all over the yard, which I'll show you. I started them from seed, and they look really nice. And then those 2 right there, those are maple trees, which I'm going to just go around and show you guys in a second. And I'm going to try to wrap this up as quick as possible. Those are blackberry cuttings. They're actually giving me a ton of blackberries right now. But I've got one cane that doesn't look too good, so I got to cut it off, which is basically the older one. So when this happens, you definitely want to cut that old cane out. And you know, I've got a bunch of fruit on this, but I also have the new daughter canes coming in, and if I don't cut it off, it might spread whatever that has to the newer one. So I definitely want to cut that out. Here's that citrus tree I was telling you about. So this I started from seed, and look at the difference from this one to the other one. And it could be placement, it could be the fact that there's other things going on around it. This is just a weed from last year. This grows really tall, and this was attracting a lot of hummingbirds. It gives you those little flowers that look like honeysuckle. I don't know what it is, but I liked it so much that I pulled out the seed pods, and I was able to plant one here and one over there. So hey, I don't know what it is, but it looks great. Here's my evergreen tree. This is a Triumph grape right here. All right, so this is cool right here because you know, I had to really work on this one. I cut all this down here. I put this cage up, and it's already giving me grapes. It's got a lot of those little nodes inside and all that, so that's actually really good to see. So that's exciting. So I'll keep you guys updated on how that looks. I see what else I got. So I showed you guys this tomato plant already. There's the back part of it. So if you're sitting here, you see the pineapples. You can see the tomatoes. If you're over here, you got blackberries growing over here, which you could enjoy from there. I've got this mammoth sunflower over here, and here's my other cannabis plant, which is looking great. This right here is a angel trumpet. I cannot wait till that comes out. That smells really good. That's why I got it over here. You're gonna get a nice fragrance from that. Here's that other weed I was telling you about, which is looking phenomenal. Got some more blackberry cuttings. I've got morning glories, which are basically trellis over here. A lot of those burpees in the morning look good. This is my fern, which is really small. This actually got big because this I bought it really small. Along with this, I bought this really small, and it got really big too. And this one right here is lemongrass. Let me show you my herbs real quick. So this right here, this is thyme, okay, and it's doing really nicely. This right here is sage, and I bought this really small, and it's looking phenomenal. I've actually used this on my teas. This right here is a Japanese maple. It's giving me already some fruit. Last year I got a ton of eggplant. I don't know what I said, but Japanese eggplant is those skinny long ones. This is what this is. This right here is ginger root. I basically planted the ginger. I mean, you could look at the size of this. I use this on my smoothies and whatnot, but you could already see it's giving me the shooting. So this has a lot of root development, and I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm gonna get a ton of ginger just out of this, which is cool. Here's my other mugwort or wormwood, which is really cool. Look how beautiful that silvery blue is. This plant was jacked up, and the soil here is so good. I mean, this is compost from last year. I mean, this is good soil right here. You know, anywhere you dig, I mean, can't see them now, but I've got a lot of worms in there, which is cool. Those are peanuts, and I've actually got peanuts I planted purposely. This right here is mint, more mint over here. That's raspberry, and this is all blackberry over here. Let me show you guys what I got. This has got a lot of blackberries, man. I mean, the camera don't do justice as the amount of blackberries I got in here. This is a new cane that came in this year, but I mean, this is phenomenal. Look at all the amount of blackberries I got. So very excited, very exciting. This right here, onions to deter pests, another mammoth sunflower, some more cuttings. And I'm gonna tell you right now, this is my pride and joy. This is actually a apple tree. This is actually taller than me, that I started from seed. This is the second year that I, 2 years old already. I'll tell you what, man, I mean, you could see the trunk on this. I actually had to braid it because the thing is, I didn't know which, you're supposed to prune them. I did, but I didn't prune it on time. So I felt like if I cut it, I'm gonna have half a tree. So what I did was I basically braided it when it was like this tall. And basically I braided it up to here, took all the foliage out underneath. And this is really, really taking off. I got one of my beautiful friends there, the ladybug. I'm always very grateful to see the ladybug. And then of course, this over here is a bronze leaf hibiscus. So this is actually a beautiful, and this is the second year, because I had one stalk this year, 2 stalks come out, and this is beautiful. I mean, this is a really beautiful plant. The flowers are huge, and this attracts a lot of pollinators actually. So super happy to have this plant growing out here, second year. This right here is prostrate rosemary, and I'm about to use those on my teas as well. I'm gonna wait till it gets a little bit bigger. I have another wormwood or mugwort, another African okra. That's another avocado tree that I didn't put there on purpose. That was actually from the compost. So I'm definitely going to be taking care of that. This is purple leaf basil. I've got all different kinds of basil. And I'll tell you right now, this tastes amazing. You just come out in the morning and put one of those in your mouth, and kind of just makes you feel good. This is a 2-year-old pepper plant. I actually brought this in last year. I got to take that one out soon. I took this one out last year from the ground and put it in a pot, and I didn't know if it was gonna make it, and it actually ended up doing really good in a pot, because it was actually really, like, it started wilting. It started doing a bunch of stuff I wasn't happy with, and I mean, I'm glad it made it. Between this one and there's another pepper plant over there, which I'll show you guys in a second. This is chocolate mint, and then that's the spearmint or peppermint. And of course I got some cannabis cuttings, not cuttings, I'm sorry, seedlings that I'm starting here. The rain literally filled this up, but they look really green. I'm about to take that out and put them in a pot, because they're actually big enough now. This is purple sage, and these are the other basils I was telling you about, spicy basil. And then this right here is the fig tree, which is looking phenomenal. It's giving me figs. Very nice fig tree. So that one right there is this is the regular eggplant. This is the regular eggplant tree, and look how big it's gotten, because that one I bought really small. So I'm going to show you what I have in the rest of my space over here. So I'm going to make a second video. If you guys are liking it, then I invite you to watch the second one.